not just be an entrepreneur. Like I don't know. I don't think it's any of our jobs to like convince everybody to go reinvent their industry. I don't know.
I had a conversation earlier this afternoon at another event talking about just that there's so many people that have their own idea, whether it's good or not. It's hard to convince people to not chase their own thing and to jump on board with something else. And so I feel like there's this struggle sometimes with those leadership roles and finding those partners and not having to do it solo. And then you have all these people just failing, falling on their face when if they just brought the collaboration together, their skill sets could combine to at least achieve one of them. And sometimes I think there's just a big issue with that. Everybody wants to do their own thing. And it's kind of the same point, here, instead of the collaboration and a center point, everybody's taking their own corners. So.
Great. I want to honor everyone's time, so if I could, I'm going to take that last comment and like funnel it into like a kick-ass closer. But I don't know how there can be more of an amazing closer on everything that's already been said. But like, you're talking about collaboration, like openness. But I'm going to say, like, what's the most selfish thing that like you want to do right now, each of you guys? Like, you were just kind of having this discussion. Did it stir anything that you're more motivated about or more interested in your own journey? And we'll just close with that, you guys. I know you're full of questions, and it's awesome.
I mean, right now, I'm very excited to try and build a company that I'm working with. I'm really excited about trying to build this company up. I'm really excited to be in a role again where we're right on the cusp, I think, knock on wood, but I think we're right on the cusp again of creating cool jobs. I was lucky at my startup. I mean, we created a lot of really cool jobs there at Rackspace. I mean, hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs while I was there, and like so much fun to be in a position where you're creating really cool jobs and really cool opportunities and that kind of stuff. And look, I've got some investments in town that I'm excited about, and I'm very excited to be working on all that stuff here in San Antonio. I mean, I give Lorenzo and others a hard time sometimes about my feelings on San Antonio. I mean, I'm critical. It's just what I do. I'm a critic. I do that kind of stuff.
You're collaborating.
Yeah, but I'm a critic too. And look, I think the city needs a lot to get to the next level and levels beyond that. But it's also not going to happen overnight. There's no magic bullet. I'm excited to have the opportunity to help build a company here in San Antonio and be a part of some others that are doing it as well.
I think I'm excited. I think what I'm the most excited about is I've been in my role now for 5 years. I'm coming into my 5th year, and I feel like the momentum is really, really getting stronger. And I think that I would dub 2016 as the year of critical mass. I mean, if you look at CodeUp. CodeUp's such a great example. CodeUp started with 2 guys sharing an office at Kingdom, and now they have this entire floor. I mean, how big is this floor?
It's amazing. Jenny's got her square footage. She like millennial badass, like designed out the whole space.
And you're out of space.
Yeah, we're out. Pushing the 5,700.
Yeah, I mean, so when you think about it, nothing happens overnight, and I think that there's so many cool things happening that I'm having a hard time keeping track of what's going on, which is really good. When people are doing things that you don't know about, that's when you have a real ecosystem, when it's not just in the RAND building, right? That's when you have a real ecosystem. And so I think that the key is, to Pat's point, never lie to yourself, right? Never say, man, we're doing amazing when you've got all these holes in your game. And so I think that having people like Pat that say, okay, don't over-congratulate yourself over here. You still got a lot of work to do over here. But I think that given the overall trajectory of overhead, I think it's going to be really cool. And I think you'll start seeing, at least this year, you're going to start seeing more companies created, more companies open remote shops right now. Just in Techstars, just the number of companies that are even thinking about staying is more than I've ever seen in the 4 years that we've had them here, which is really a tipping point. Now, whether or not they'll stay is a different story, but 4 years before that, you couldn't even get them to consider it.
That to me is the key, though. So I haven't said much about CodeUp today. I love what CodeUp is doing. I think it's amazing. I think where you really start to connect the dots is if we can create really good jobs for CodeUp grads as they come out. Right. That to me is where you start to connect the dots.
Right.
And so look, I think if we can get a handful of companies that are creating really good tech jobs or jobs in tech companies in or around downtown San Antonio, and CodeUp continues to produce really good people or help really good people hone their skills, I think you got something.
I'm gonna end with that.
That was
Plus one.
perfect.
Ah.
You guys, what's kind of interesting, and that's like kind of through that. Thank you so much for saying all that amazingness. But that code up story is interesting. I was talking with some people. Maybe it was promoters. Some of you guys have hired like our first classes. You know, we were in Arches. Each one of our boot camps gets named after a national park, and we started with Arches, and now we're at, what is it, Ikawakatsua, okay, like whatever, anyway.
What?
We're pronouncing something from Seattle super wrong.
Did you just say dances with wolves?
Exactly, and, but we've graduated so many students at this point, and what we know is that the quality of them is changing, because we're a startup, right, so we're learning as we go, and like, who came out in that first class was awesome, because they were super motivated, because they really wanted to learn to code, they were the first ones to jump into the risky thing called a boot camp. And now the people are like getting much more benefit. Like we're bringing business leaders and we're doing business cases. You're not just going to learn to code. You're going to actually learn to think about the whole business problem, the enterprise problem, as well as the small startup problem, right? Because there are enterprise organizations in town who told me they want to hire 300 coders this year and they can't find them. What? We'll just make them for you. We'll just manufacture. But so it's an interesting problem in San Antonio to just raise this ground floor of experience. And so I hope you all feel like listening to these guys like raise your expectations for yourself and your capabilities and what you can do. That's what we hope this dialogue would give you. I love this question about what advice would you give your younger self?
The only one we couldn't answer.
Nobody can answer.
Stumper.
But you know what's so golden about it, you guys, is that it means that people are listening to you and they're imagining that they want to be you when they grow up.
That's
right?
Pivot right now.
Right? Exactly. But seriously, like the thing that like nobody likes to necessarily, well, maybe some people like to hear themselves be called narcissists, but I don't think narcissists like to be called luminaries unless you're a narcissist. These guys really like have made a huge change and impact in the world, and it's just by developing this community. And I think the thing that they've really done is like just courageously gone for it. You know, whatever they've done, they've just gone for it. Michael Gurley's like, just do it. Just do
No,
it.
you hang up
now.
first. No, I love you more.
Oh, maybe. But really, like all of you guys have that light. So I want to encourage you to keep going, keep participating in the community. Know that there's a real part and a real home for you here at CodeUp, the community we're trying to help co-create with the Geekdom universe. Is just that we want to be a place that you feel like you can develop into who you want to be, right? So there's prizes. How many people do you think went from being not able to code in San Antonio to being able to code thanks to 2 years of a profitable startup, actually? The three closest guesses get cool swag.
200?
What?
200?
We have a guess for 200 over here. Anyone else have a guess?
Guess over here.
300. 230. 301.
150.
500. I like how you're thinking. Anybody else?
150.
Right.
150. You guys gotta get some more numbers because we're not getting enough.
75.
Okay, cool. That's it? Really? 10?
Higher or
You
lower?
have to make the second to last person bid, it is their bid as well. And that makes everybody not want to be the loser.
I know.
He says 150, and I just said $1. I still have to pay my $1 because I was second to last.
Right.
So that makes it more fun. You see how high it goes.
Well, see, like you get it. This is how high it goes. A really cool coffee cup, you guys. Oh my gosh, just say a number between 1 and a million. Okay, well, all right, we're done. We're 200.
200.
Was closest because 199 is the number. So who was next?
Nice.
Somebody else? Yes. Yeah, you said. Was there anyone closer than 100 away from that? You said 150. That was closer. And who? What? I think. Huh? Yeah. And someone said 230. Here you go. Who's that? Send this back. Yes, ma'am. But the fun thing about that number, why I want to tell you it, is it's a real number. Like that's really what's changed. Like those people are working in the universities guys you're talking about right now. And those are people who like wanted to get into tech and often couldn't see their access point. So that's what we want to be, as an access point for you all. What else can we say? What can we say? Come back to more events. We're at Startup Week. It's an awesome full schedule. How many of you guys have a cell phone on you right now? How many of you be willing to take it out and open up your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, and like let people know you were here, because we're so happy to provide free events. Thank you. We already have #CodeUpFam. say Startup Week. Let the country know what's happening in our
There you
little
go.
universe. Go outside of our bubble, please. Like, help us promote because we all want the whole world to know what's happening here. That's part of the story right now, right? And, oh, it's me. Oh, I love that. Yeah, Periscope. That's great. It's very flattering, those blurs. Anyway, we really need you guys to tell people about what we do because there's so many free events in San Antonio, too. I came here from the Bay Area. I've never seen so many free stuff given away. And I'm like, wow, you guys, if we don't actually make something of that go beyond that singular free event, we're all just giving away our talent. So let's actually make sure we're helping each other collaborate to grow our talent. So please help us a little bit. Let people know you're at CodeUp. And our next event that I know some CodeUp team is a part of is Wednesday night at Alamo Beer Hall is Founder Failures. So Jason Strawn, who is one of our co-founders and also the founder of Grok, will be at that. I think Thursday we have an open house all day. If you want to come sit in on a boot camp, you're welcome to. Get a tour around 11 a.m. We'd love to have you if you just want to see what people crying blood as they're learning new skills. It's great. And Friday there's a collaboration is key workshop at 11, and also at 4:30 there's another workshop for developers in the startup universe. Okay? Any questions? I'm gonna let these hostages go. They've been amazing.
Thanks, everyone.
Super round of applause.